Good morning, Mr. Greer. Thanks for meeting with me today. I just wanted to go over this new partnership with SNA and why culture competency is so vital for this process. I'll be starting the workshop this week and I'll be going over information with the staff along with the board of directors. So I wanted to show you what my presentation and workshop is going to cover and make sure that we don't have any questions or things that you want to add prior to us moving forward. This has been a bit of a process, so we don't want to go any further without making sure that everything is rolled out as smooth as possible. In my presentation and my workshop, we are going to first start with training the staff on understanding what culture competency is. That's the focus point of this training and workshop. It's the focus of a smooth partnership transition. It's the focus of growing our companies together, SNA and Spokes of Hope. And both companies have such large and very diverse demographics and cultures that the understanding of why we're doing this workshop and why this training is happening for a smooth rollout is so important. So understanding what culture competency is going to be first. After that, we are going to go into why it is important and the overall impact it's going to have for them going forward. Second, we're going to explain cross-culture relationships and communication. So this is where we're going to start really showing the different types of communication that they're going to need to know to really make this workshop what we want it to be, and to allow them to interact and have good responses from this training. So we're going to want to explain our body language. We're going to explain emotions. We put in the presentation that we want, them to be able to demonstrate behaviors and attitudes, verbal and nonverbal communication. So all of that is going to be part of that secondary step in the training process. And then the final part of the process is going to be teaching them to reflect on their own experiences. We're going to do a little project where they have to talk about family experiences, where they come from, how they feel about specific views, and really make sure that they're getting out those differences between them, because that is going to really bring everything together and allow them to understand the differences. And sometimes you don't even know the differences in the cultures and the importance of having all of that. And then we are going to allow for a question and answer between the people in the training and with myself and the rest of the staff that will be teaching the workshop. So these are the items that we will need to make sure that you and I are both comfortable on and understand prior to us moving forward. So I just want to make sure that there's nothing else that you need from me, Mr. Greer, or anything that that maybe you would like added or taken out prior to tomorrow when I train my fellow colleagues on this workshop that we'll be presenting to the rest of the staff. So did you have any questions? Okay, good. Well, I will put up a final draft and send you the actual final presentation that's in a PowerPoint with our training documents and everything as soon as I get back to my office, and just give it one more look over and just make sure that you didn't have anything else for me, and if not, then we will proceed tomorrow with training and the board of directors the day after. So thank you so much. Okay, bye. Hi guys, thanks for joining the group. We have our meeting with our investors, I believe it's the 30th. So I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page as a team before we go through and run through the culture and competencies with the team members and hold our workshop. So I want to make sure that nobody has any questions on the PowerPoint that I sent out, which will be our training guide for the workshop. Okay, good. So let's just make sure that we're all on the same page with each of the topics, and then we should be good to go for training in a couple of days. So the first thing that we're going to go over with the staff in the workshop is going to be the culture and competencies and the importance of culture competency, or cultural competency, excuse me. We're going to go over the set of values and principles. We're going to let them know why it's important to know what barriers are in front of you between different people, cultures. We're going to assist them in being able to read emotions and handle, coming in contact with somebody that speaks a different language and where you go from there. The second thing that we're going to go over in our training workshop is going to be cross-culture relationships. I know we talked a lot about this when we were creating the PowerPoint together, so I think we're all on the same page, but really quickly, let's just run through a couple of things. We're going to go over the positive role in a relationship. We're going to go over how culture can help you explore, the things you should know before you start exploring, communication and understanding the differences and why knowing the differences is going to be so important. We are going to go over relationships in the workplace and also outside of the workplace. There's a lot of times that the staff members are, going to be going out to dinner or whatever it may be, and we want to make sure that there's no controversy in the workplace or outside of the workplace that may impact anything. And then this is the part that Jim and Sally worked on together, where we're going to reflect on their own experiences and allow them to express some different things that they've ran into or dealt with, or family members, where they come from, and kind of really explore on that. This is going to let them ask questions and get a good feel for how to break down some barriers with each other, which I think will be nice and work us through that. Lastly, we are just going to go over how biased opinions can really hinder or change factors throughout this process, and make sure that they understand. I know you guys were planning on doing some fun activities as well, so let's still do that. I don't want it to, get boring or drag out or lose their attention on anything in the workshop. So let's make sure that we keep it fun and exciting and make Greg proud of everything that we've done together as a team. I think it'll be exciting. And so does anybody have any other things that we want to add to our PowerPoint or workshop before we say, okay, this is it? No? Okay, awesome. Well, I will go ahead and make sure everything is submitted where it needs to go, and that we're planning for our class as scheduled, and or workshop, and that if you guys have any great ideas for snacks and stuff like that during the couple of days, just let's keep it in our group email that we're already doing, and we can go from there. So that's it. Okay, I guess we'll get back to work. Thanks, guys. Listen to the benefits that it's going to have for all of us, our staff. All around, it's going to be very beneficial for this partnership. So as we both know, or as all of us know, SNA and Spokes of Hope are two very, very important companies that have very diverse cultures that they're dealing with, and just a lot of adversity and demographics. And so through this partnership, we want to make sure that we are doing our very, very best to train everyone and make this as cohesive as possible throughout the transition and coming together. So as you guys can see here on the slide, I'm going to go over the presentation that we would be doing for the training workshop for the staff. The first thing that you're going to see up here on the screen is we're going to be discussing culture competencies, letting them get an understanding of what culture competencies are and the importance of having culture and competency in the workplace and really utilizing some skills that we're going to train them and why it's so important. On this next slide, you're going to see how you're going to cover verbal and nonverbal cues. We're going to try and teach them how to pay attention to these cues and how to understand when they're seeing or speaking to somebody, those nonverbal and verbal actions that may be going on. We're also going to be covering culture roles in people's relationships, whether it's having to do directly with work or if it's going to be maybe an outside interaction excuse me, that our staff is going to have. So we want to make sure that we're covering both sides of the spectrum there. And next on this PowerPoint, you are going to see kind of the layout of how our training is going to go. And so I'm just going to run through that a little bit with you guys. So like we spoke about here, we have culture and competencies that we're going to be covering and importance, cross-culture relationships inside and outside of the workplace. We are also going to, at the very end of the workshop, focus on why it helps to reflect on our own experiences and experiences that other people around us have had. We really want to take time to allow the staff to have fun and enjoy this process and learn a lot from it, so we want it to be very interactive. We want to go over family experiences. We want to show them that there are opportunities that sometimes are missed because we can't read these cues or barriers. We can't read the verbal or nonverbal communication that we may be having with somebody. And when we miss those types of things, there's a lot that can be lost. And so it's very important that we cover those items with them. Lastly, I think that this is going to be such a vital process, and we have the whole team at SNA and Spokes of Hope, we've really come together and done some great training and some great PowerPoints, and we've put together just so many fun activities for this process because it is so important for both sides and for us to have this really cohesive partnership and the process to go as smooth as possible. So I want to thank all of you for giving me the time to come up here and speak about the workshop. If you have any questions by the time today is over, please let me know, and I'll go ahead and let Mr. Greer take it over from here. Thank you.